What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hywel Evans. Today is Tuesday Talks, and today we're going to be talking about training volume and how much you actually need. Now guys, I just want to start this video off by saying that I've only now adopted this style of training, and I have actually seen progress in nearly every single session I've carried out in the gym since. And the fact that I was training a quite high volume before, I still made gains. So this isn't the be all end all, but it might be able to optimize your training if that's something you look forward to. But if you genuinely enjoy doing what you're doing already, then that is always going to be the best routine for you, because as long as it's getting you in the gym, then that is all that actually matters. But if you want to optimize your training, like I'm trying to do at the moment, then this video is for you. Let's get these off, it's boiling, man. Whew. So today we're going to introduce you to two concepts: minimum effective volume and maximum recoverable volume. Basically, this is the zone you want to be training in, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced. This is the zone where you are going to make the most gains. Basically, minimum effective volume is the least amount of work you can do, the minimum, to achieve gains or maintain muscle, probably more so for intermediates, whereas beginners will probably gain in this phase. And then the maximum recoverable volume, which is the other end of the spectrum, is basically the most amount of work you can do and still recover. So anything in excess of that, you're going to really struggle to recover, which is likely what I was doing before, which is why I plateaued on many lifts, because I was actually training too much, and it was actually being detrimental to the rest of my week of training, especially in something like a push-pull legs, where maybe I was training chest on a Monday really intensely with lots of sets, lots of reps, higher weight, and then by the time I come back to hit it on perhaps a Thursday, my body hasn't fully recovered, so the muscle's still broken down, and basically I'm not able to lift the weights I'm looking to lift. Jeff Nippard does an amazing video on this, but I've actually replicated the graph that he made just to demonstrate to you guys very briefly what it is without you guys having to watch a full hour video. So this is the graph here. Basically, you've got gains on one axis with volume on the other axis. He actually labels this volume, but I prefer to call it sets per week because that's what I'll be regulating in my routine, and I'm pretty sure that's what he refers to in his video as well, so maybe it'd be more specific to say sets per week. And actually we're looking at like a minimum effective range here, and research proves this. If you are interested, I will put all the research in the description below, but research proves that the minimum effective volume for most intermediate lifters is around about 10 sets. Now, I do want to mention that for beginners, that is probably more than enough sets per week, and you might be thinking that that is low, but scientifically backed, that is enough sets per week to make gains, especially if you're a beginner, because your body is not used to any sets at all. So whereas I am more of an intermediate lifter, and that's more of my minimum effective volume, for a beginner, that can easily be enough to actually gain muscle. Then speaking about intermediate and advanced lifters specifically, we move up to a maximum volume of around about 20 sets per week, which is your maximum recoverable volume. Now that is quite a wide gap from 10 to 20 sets per week, and it is going to be different for everyone. That's just the way it is. That's the way bodybuilding is. You have to find basically what your best set rep range is. However, there is a way where you can utilize your minimum effective volume and maximum recoverable volume over a period of time, such as 4 weeks, and call that perhaps a mesocycle, which I learned from Dr. Mike Israetel, I believe, sorry again, in which over the 4 weeks your progressive overload technique is actually incrementing volume as in sets per week. So perhaps whereas on week 1 you would start closer to your minimum effective volume, say around about 10 sets per week, and over the 4-week period work up to your maximum recoverable volume, so perhaps 20 sets per body part per week, then you're going to be at a stage where your body's pretty fatigued. It is going to need a little bit of a rest, and maybe you can increment a deload then, implement a deload at that stage if needed, or just revert back to the week 1 again and increase the weight. Now this is basically how Project Grow is going to be implemented for you guys. I've incremented the volume over the weeks over a 4-week period, and actually included a deload in there as well, which is optional of course if your body's too fatigued at that point. Now I do just want to say the recent research, and I mean extremely recent, I don't even know if it's been published yet, but again it's from Jeff Nippard's channel, so check him out, actually shows that past this this 20 sets, which is your maximum recoverable volume, whereas before we actually expected diminishing returns, so basically your body's not able to recover after a certain amount of volume. Recent, very recent research shows that this could possibly not be the case, and the fact that you might actually be able to have slightly improved gains, and this is slight, after 20 sets. And again, this will be dependent on like per person, and maybe you'll be able to get additional gains at around 25 sets. But again, this is very recent research, and the fact that I believe 20 sets has been shown adequate before in recent studies, I've actually labeled this the injury zone. Because for the amount of gains you're going to get past that 20 set period, so say you pass 20 sets, and it's not a specific number, it doesn't have to be 20 exactly, of course, but say you take it to 25 sets, 30 sets, the amount of gains you're going to get for that amount of volume more could potentially be more harmful for you in the long run if it causes something like an injury, which is only going to set you back months and months. So to put it on past research, I believe that 20 sets is probably adequate to be a maximum recoverable volume. And like I said, 20 is just an arbitrary number. It doesn't actually mean 20 specifically. Everybody will be different. Like for me, example, my volume or sets per week for legs and quads in particular actually only gets to around about 18 sets per week for the 4th week. So that's the highest my sets go per week, is 18 on quads. Whereas chest, because that's something I want to work on, and delts, they go up to more around 20. So you can actually tailor it to your weaknesses as well and add more volume on parts where perhaps you want to gain strength. Now, again, these are arbitrary numbers, as in that 20 sets, for example, for arms is definitely not necessary. That is a lot, way too much volume for arms specifically, because they worked so much in other movements. So there are, again, amazing videos on Dr. Mike Israetel's channel. I don't believe he has one himself, but maybe Juggernaut Training, I think, features him a lot. And there's some amazing videos on there if you want to check out body parts specifically. But this was supposed to be just a video where I like sort of round everything off and keep it nice and short. But it probably hasn't been that short for you guys, because yeah, I think I've rambled a little bit. I tried to keep it as narrow as possible anyway, so hopefully that's helped you guys. Hopefully that has given you some insight on how the volume training will work for Project Grow. And hopefully, like, if you're training like I was before, where it was 4 sets of 10 for basically 5 exercises every single day, and you run a push-pull legs, consider that to be perhaps you are plateauing, and that may be the reason why. You're doing too much volume, so you're actually working over that maximum recoverable volume, and you're in that zone where you could potentially cause an injury, but also maybe from past research being a diminishing return zone. Definitely something to consider if you're looking to change up your routine. And like I said, Project Grow will be released very shortly, so you guys can check out what I'm basically doing, and maybe you can adjust something a little and change it to tailor your needs, because Project Grow is specific to me, but it's good to release it to you because then you can all just sort of get an idea of how the volume regulation is going to work. So anyway guys, thank you for watching today. This has been Tuesday Talks. I know I missed Sunday, but it was the World Cup final and we were celebrating because I graduated, so all my cards are up. And at the moment, I'm debating still doing 3 videos a week, because I can put a lot more effort into these videos and really do the research if I take longer, rather than just spouting stuff out. So rather than just feeding you crap, I would rather take a little bit more time and really work on, I don't know, something special for you. So maybe I'll do that over the next coming weeks, but I'm sure there will be a vlog out this week, and Supplement Sunday is going to happen as well, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to wrap this video up. I'm sweating now. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.